It is a cold but bright wintry day. The frostbite has yet to reach my toes, but my fingers, on the other hand, is like ice waiting to be cracked open. Hello, beautiful people. Do you see how our words can be so captivating, so entertaining, so attention grabbing when you use the right descriptive words? And I don't know if I should use the word right, because are there right and wrong words? No, they're just better words, more intentional words that you can use. And listen, that can help in our everyday lives. How do you look at yourself? How do you describe yourself? How do you show up in the mornings or in the afternoons, or when you're talking to people? How do they view you based on the words you use about yourself and others, about the world around you? You see how you can pull someone in? That's a good writer. That's a great book. So before I let you know what book I'm currently reading, which if you watched the last video, did you? Did you? Two books that I found digging at Dollar General. If you watched it, you may have a clue of what I'm reading. But if you are new here, listen, thank you so much, beloved, for watching. I am Darnaya Darice, first name, middle name. Okay, and here I do lifestyle, motivation, and bookish content. So you're going to get everything positive, productive, and peaceful, a peace of mind here. So if you like that kind of content, you like a little vlogs, you like a little book reviews, book recommendations, just positivity all the way around, go ahead and subscribe. Join the Keep Rising crew, as I like to call us over here. Okay, hashtag KRC, hashtag Keep Rising. All right, and share this video for anyone who needs a little bit of inspiration, whether they're a writer, an author, or whether they just like to read, they're a reader, or they're just an observer of life, or they just like to learn, or they just want to hear a little something positive. Share this video with them, okay? It's like, girl, sir, ma'am, go ahead and watch this on your lunch break. Go ahead and watch this after dinner, whenever you're watching this. Today is Wednesday, January 22nd, 2025. And listen, let's get into it. I'm currently reading Good Company. All right, this is my 6th book of the year. Can you believe it? I'm on book 6 in just week 4. I've been on it. I've been rolling. Okay, I've been. You see that? I use the word intentionally. Okay, I've been rolling. That's how we're gonna roll today. Okay. All right. But you see the blue. You saw the snow at the beginning of the video. Hello, your girl's on to something. On to something. Imagery. Gotta pull the imagery. But no, this was a cover buy for me. I walked in and I was like, I'm gonna get something that I like to cover and see how it is. And I picked up Good Company by Cynthia D. Sweeney. And she just so happened to be the best-selling author of The Nest. And because of this book, I'm going to read more for work. I want to read The Nest because it's pretty good. This is a pretty good read. It is what I like to call a light read. It's not really heavy where it's dealing with like gruesome or trauma-born content per se. Now, she does touch on how it is to be in the entertainment business, to be specifically an actor or actress and married and with children and without children, and what it's like navigating the ups and downs of the life of an actor. Okay, so this book is written in the third person point of view. It's a narrator, an observer, someone who's not right in the life but is looking at everybody's life. So you have two main ladies who are the center of focus, and the ladies are married, so two couples. One couple, Flora, who's the main character in this book, Flora and her husband Julian are both actors, but they're kind of struggling up and down actors. They live in, or they were living in New York. They're in California with the other couple, Margot and David, now, who are kind of actively acted. They have consistent work. As far as Margot married David, who's a doctor. Now, Flora and Julian, Flora met Julian because of Margot. Julian is an actor, and Margot had invited Flora to a party, which she didn't really want to go to. And she ended up meeting Julian. They ended up liking each other and hanging out and essentially getting married. But they go through a lot of ups and downs financially because they're struggling acting couple. Margot is that beautiful kind of actress. She has a good foundation, good found money. She used to live in New York, but she got a gig on a show called Cedar, which is like a hospital show, and she is plays Dr. Cat, I believe, and her husband is a real doctor. And so they're living like this nice lavish lifestyle, and she's the best friend of Flora. And as the best friend who has the money, you know, she always tends to want to help Flora out, buy things for Flora, even for her bridesmaid dress. She's like, Flora's like, I can't afford this dress, but she's like, let me buy it for you. You know, so it's a pretty good read. Julian, the husband married to Flora, ends up cheating with the ex-girlfriend who's also an actress. So it gets into some juiciness and how they're navigating that world. Flora and Julian have a daughter, Ruby, who just graduated from high school. And Ruby is very attached to Margot, the best friend, because Margot gives her also this lavish feeling like, let me do this for her and things of that nature. So it's getting juicy. And also another wrench in the fork, another fork in the wrench, however you say it. Margot's husband, David, who's a doctor, when they were in New York, he ended up getting kind of sick and having stroke-like symptoms. He was grabbing his chest and his arms and things like that, fainting out and things of that nature, but he didn't really have a stroke until he was operating on a baby girl, an infant, someone's infant who needed heart surgery because he's a heart surgeon, and he ended up having a stroke during the surgery, and the baby did not make it. And a reporter ends up asking about it when they're in California, and they like, how does she know about this? And she's kind of avoid the question. So it's getting juicy. I'm more than halfway done. I'll probably finish this book tomorrow, if not tonight. It's a very good read. But I want to point out just a few things really quickly. So if you're still watching, hang in there so you can see what I'm reading next. But in this book, she uses different verbs and adjectives, and throughout the book that follows the theme of the overall story. So she uses words like surreptitious and surreptitiously, which is keeping a secret because the husband doesn't really come out with that he's cheating. The wife, Flora, ends up finding the ring that he said he lost in the pool years ago when the daughter was 5. Remember, the daughter is now graduated from high school, and she finds it in the cabinet, in one of their filing cabinets, tucked away, and now she's all distraught and trying to figure out what's going on. So she uses that word a lot. I see it a few times. She also uses words, adjectives like mundane, dismal, which means depressing, dreary, gloomy. She uses equivocate, which means to use ambiguous language so as to conceal the truth or avoiding committing oneself. Insouciant, showing a casual lack of concern or indifferent. Capitulate, ameliorate, cinch, accost. And so if you notice the verbiage she's using, the adjective she's using in this book aligns with that theme of hiding an affair, or her being Flora is a little kind of dull versus Margot, who is out there, and she has this vibrant personality that she shows to the world. But I thought it was interesting because it mentions Shakespeare in this book, obviously because it's the actor's book, a book about actors entertaining, and there's this line they use from a play from Shakespeare called A Midsummer's Night's Dream, and it's like, Lord, what fools these mortals are, or what fools these mortals be. That's the line. And so it's kind of fun there. And also on page 112, you kind of get a gist of Margot's husband, how he views life and his point of view. And he was asked by someone, what do you want? What do you desire to do? Where do you desire to go? Where do you want to go? And he says, desire was nothing more than an impulse and potential was paths leading off into separate but possibly equally satisfying destinations. Like right now, somewhere in the middle of Central Park. Should he go left or right? Who knew where either would lead, but picking one meant denying yourself of the other. How to know which to prefer. And I thought that was so profound. And he ultimately chooses to go to the right. If you're from New York or been in New York in Central Park, you know, he's in Central Park and he's choosing what path to go. And he's doing all this just to walk on a path in Central Park. Okay. And so I love how the writer kind of gives insight to how he thinks this doctor husband, and he gets a little deeper. And it's like, oh, desire is nothing but an impulse. Okay. It's potential. I can desire it, but it may never happen, or I can choose either way and I'll get either way results. So I do suggest this read if you're into light romance or drama. She does get a little juicy parts in here when it comes to intimacy or the connection of the husband and wife from both standpoints of both actors, Flora and Margot. It is a good read, and it's at Dollar General. So go check your Dollar General out if you like. Now, what am I going to read next? As I said, I'm on my 6th book. This is going to be my 7th book. Do you see the theme blue? Hello. Blue again. But The Housemaid by Frida McFadden is going to be my next read after this one. And so I'm most likely going to start this by the end of this week and into next week. I may end up getting one more book in. I may end up reading 8 books. We'll see. But I am going to do a video of all the books I read for this month, for the month of January. And then I'm going to do another video on what I plan to read in February. We're going to do a TBR together. We're going to pick my reads. Okay. So stay tuned for that. If you like this, listen, if you like this kind of content, if you're loving it here, again, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share, hit the notification bell so you can get alerted any and every time that your girl go live. Okay, get some inspiration. But I just wanted to also point out the difference with the writing in Razor Blade Tears. So Razor Blade Tears was my first book that I read by S.A. Cosby, who is an excellent writer. His point of view there in that book are from 2 fathers who had 2 sons who ended up being married, their partners who were murdered, and the fathers go on this revenge quest to avenge their sons. And the fathers, while the sons were alive, did not treat their sons that well. And so you get the perspective of the guilt, the shame, the regret, the frustration, the anger that's in them of going after these people. But here are some of the adjectives and verbs that were, or nouns that were used in Razor Blade Tears. And you can kind of see how it aligns with that theme. But S.A. Cosby uses self-evident, not needing to be demonstrated or explained. He uses the word scimitar, which is a type of short sword, bestial, or bestial, with which means like an animal or savagely cruel. Cartographer, a person who draws or produces maps. Tact, which means adroitness, sensitivity in dealing with others or with difficult issues. Vitriolic, filled with bitter criticism or malice. And he also uses redress, which is remedy to set something right, for a wrong or grievance, compensation for that. And alacrity, cheerful, readiness, active, fast, and energetic. And the adjectives, the nouns, the verb he uses all align with the quest the fathers is on, looking for the killers, trying to find anyone and everyone who's involved and ready to go to war. Do you hear me? It is a great book. Like every chapter, once you get past chapter 6, like it started getting really good when I got to chapter 6 on Razor Blade Tears. I was like, I'm hooked. I want to read every single chapter. And that is what good company is like. So I'm excited to finish this book. Let me know what you are currently reading, what you plan to read in February. How are you finding the themes of the writers? How are they writing? Or is it first person, second person, third person? Let me know, okay? So I appreciate you for watching this far. If you watch this far, put a purple heart, because purple is my favorite color. So that's why you see a lot of purple purples and pinks, okay? But thank you so much. And in the meantime, in between time for my next video, always remember to keep rising. Taking, just be. Don't take it. Taking, just don't.